Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. I talk about books on this channel, mainly books about magic, but lots of other genres as well. If you want to see more of that, you can hit subscribe down below to stick around and see more. And today we're going to be talking about my pile of possibilities for May. Now, May, I am trying to fit in as many buddy reads and book club books as possible while also giving myself a little room to mood read, which is something I am learning this year that I need to keep reading. So I think March and the beginning of April were pretty structured for me as far as content reading and reading that I was doing for different projects and stuff like that. And I am learning that I need to balance these things. So that's what we're going to try to be doing in May so that I am in a good space to read a lot of books for the amazing readathon in June. That's the goal. So let's talk about a few things that are on my radar. I am hopefully going to participate in as far as buddy reads and read-alongs, and then also some of the things that I would like to read just because they sound great, but you know, none of these things are stuck in stone. Well, a few of them are, but a lot of them are movable, changeable, as you've seen probably in my last few TBRs. I tend to pick a bunch of books that sound good to me in the moment, but then, you know, things may change as we go along. So no one is going to be surprised by my very first pick of the TBR, and that is Sunbringer by Hannah Kanner. This is one of the ones that is locked in. I have been really excited to read this, and Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading and Leandra from Leandra the TBR Zero and I are all very excited to read this, and we are going to be starting this on May 14th on Sprints as a buddy read. So I am super excited to start this and see where we go. I'm filming this a few days ahead of time, and I have about 3 books that I need to finish before the end of April, and God Killer is one of those books. I'm doing an annotation reread, so I'm really excited to finish that up and then jump right into this. I have been anticipating this since I read God Killer at the end of last year. It was my favorite book of 2023, so I am thrilled to jump into Sunbringer. In this, we're following Kissin as well as a small cast of characters, but I would say Kissin is our main character. She is a god killer. She goes around destroying gods after they were outlawed after the God Wars, and she comes across a young girl named Inara who has a god named Skedi attached to her. The two of them cannot go far apart from one another without pain. So she can't kill the god without killing the child, so she goes to an older city to try and find a solution for this. And then she also runs into a disillusioned knight who is on a quest from the king, and the 4 of them are working together for most of this book, and they all have their own interests and reasons for doing this. And I am so excited after the cliffhanger of the first book to finally jump into this one. Next up is one that is not set in stone, but I am really excited for, and that is Every Time You Hear That Song by Jenna Voris. And this is the story of a young journalist who is tracking down some clues that a famous country singer left in a time capsule after her death to try and explain parts of her life, because she randomly disappeared at one point in her career. So I think this has Dolly Parton and Evelyn Hugo and Taylor Swift vibes, and it sounds great. And I'm going to a book event for this author sometime in the middle of this month, so I really want to read the book before I go. And it's supposed to be queer and wonderful, and these are like books that I really love, like these like past timeline, current timeline books, and these like I just love it. So I'm super excited for this. I might try to get the audiobook because this seems like it might have musical elements to it as well. So we'll see, but I'm really excited for this one. Then I have a couple of books that are for different book clubs that I am hoping to participate in. The first is Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is for the Chestnut Springs along that Claire, Brittany, and Leandra are running over on their channels. I read Flawless in April. What month is it? How do I always get the months wrong? I read Flawless in April and had a good time, so I want to continue on with this. I am interested because I think this is Cade's story, who I think might be my favorite leading man, so we'll see what happens, but this is one that really appeals to me. In this, we're following different cowboys or different brothers in a ranch family as they all find love. We're following this like ranch family, and it just sounds great. It's and it is great. I read the first book like I said, it's Canadian cowboys, it's romance, it's fun. I'm excited for book 2. Then I have 2 books that I don't know that much about because they are book club picks. So the first is To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Monica Blackgoose. And when I say book club, they are my like local bookstores picks for book club. So I picked them up when I was there kind of blind, and I'm kind of just planning on going in that way. So I believe this has to do with dragons, and I think it has themes of colonization in it, that, you know, someone from the native culture has hatched a dragon, and that they have to go to a colonizer school for the dragons. I think that's what's happening. I could be wrong. And then also The Art of Scandal by Regina Black, which I also don't know that much about, but I believe this has to do with a woman who finds out her husband is cheating and then gets involved with a younger man. I think that's the basic premise from what I've seen. So again, don't know that much. I'm kind of going in blind because I usually just trust their picks and go in with no preconceived notions. So we'll see what happens. Then I have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher on here. After recommending this to Rainey to read, I am really interested to try this myself. So I will be trying to pick this up. This was also Bree's Patreon book club pick for last month, and I didn't get to it, so I would like to try it for May and hopefully try it. It's a little book, so I want to give it a shot. I also have 2 here that are historical romances. The first is In Want of a Viscount, and the other is Wake Me Most Wickedly. And these are usually great palate cleansers for me. So like I said, I'm trying to balance like my book club picks with things I really want to read. So I think these would be ones that I would probably reach for. And then the last thing that I have on my TBR is The Raven Boys by Maisie Butter. I'm going to be continuing on my reread of this series in May, I think, and I just wanted to throw this on there as a possibility, and we'll see if anybody wants to join me, let me know, but I am going to be continuing on with this because I have to get to the first book in the sequel trilogy because that's on my self-destruct list for this year. So the plan is to continue the reading and get through this. And I nearly forgot to show you my library possibilities from this month. This is very similar to last month in that I didn't change too much since I didn't read that much in April, but there are a couple of additions and subtractions here, but these are all things that could come in from my library. But yes, I think that is everything that I'm going to put on the TBR for May. I'm trying to keep this a little bit open because like I said, I've kind of been trying to find that balance. So I may join other buddy reads, book clubs, whatever, but I just want to see what kind of time I have. And I only read 7 books in April, so I'm not sure. Some of those were large books, but I'm trying to balance my physical TBR, all the book clubs, and all the read-alongs, and all the things, and I'm excited for all of them, but I only have so much time, so it's quite the balancing act. But that is it for me today. If you have any thoughts or feelings or want to share anything about the books that I talked about today, please let me know down below. If you want to let me know you were here but you don't have anything to add, you can just leave a guitar emoji for every time you hear that song, because I am so excited for that book. That's the one that's like calling out to me right now. So I'm excited to try that. And yeah, so that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.